Hey everybody, this is Carrie Ann with Stampin' on the Bright Side, and I'm going to do a really cute tutorial for a really cute card. I just learned how to make it. As a matter of fact, I've only done one set. I'm using Lovely You and Timeless Tropical, and like I said, I've only done one of these sets of cards, but I saw a demonstration over the weekend that just really got me interested, so I watched a couple of YouTube videos after that. And so the demonstration I saw was my upline Lisa Marie's daughter Rebecca. She's also a demonstrator in our group, on our team, and hers was with the new sunflower set. It's gorgeous. I used a Timeless Tropical, and so you can see we're going to actually get two cards out of one set of images. We're going to I stamped on Petal Pink and Pear Pizzazz. I used Lovely Lipstick on Petal Pink, and I used Old Olive on Pear Pizzazz, and then I'm backing it with Mossy Meadow, and I'll give you all the measurements in just a second. And then I used the new Lovely You stamp set in Mossy Meadow. The Mossy Meadow, I think, just really went with the Old Olive. I embossed everything. I embossed the flowers and the leaves. And so you glue all those onto a sheet of cardstock, and then you cut them down the middle, and then you have two card fronts. It's really genius, and I'm so excited. You're probably going to see lots of these coming up, so just be prepared. We're gonna do these two right here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already cut some of the elements because it is a little bit time intensive the way I did it. You don't have to emboss. I just wanted to. I wanted some texture and some, I don't know if you can see, some just kind of shininess, and I don't know. Anyway, I did 5 leaves and I did 4 of the flowers, and one's a little bit wonky, but we'll just tuck him underneath of somebody, okay? I have one of these already embossed and ready to cut out, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out because there's a little bit of a trick with the embossing, with the dies. Not embossing, but with the dies that I want to show you on how to cut these out and know which petal, because there is a right way to do it. The leaves are fine. The leaves are easy to do, but with the small flower and the large flower, there is a little bit of a trick. All right, so I'm going to show you that in just a second, but I want to go ahead and stamp. I have one more leaf to do. That one was a dud, so we're going to go ahead and do another one, and then I'm going to also stamp the large flower and emboss it too with you. Okay, so let me just set these aside so I don't lose them. And then, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, and let me go ahead and stamp a leaf. And like I said, I'm stamping Old Olive onto the Pear Pizzazz. And what I'm doing is I'm stamping it on my Versamark first. And let me get my little tray of embossing supplies. All right, so I have already done this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it again anyway. It doesn't hurt. I have had, even though I've done this, probably because I do one and then I emboss, I actually have been ending up with a little bit of extra embossing powder. So we're going to stamp onto the Versamark first, and then the stamp pad, and then the paper. Okay, so Versamark, don't be afraid to get it on there. It is not going to mess up your stamp pad. Okay, that looks okay. And then I'm just going to pour some, you don't have to use a tray, you can use a folded piece of paper, but I'm going to pour some embossing powder onto it. And then mostly get it back in the jar, but I'm not terribly concerned. And then I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. And you're going to see some magic happen. I love this technique. I just don't do it as often as I should. And I probably should get it away from my embossing powder. Just a minute. It's kind of already warmed up because I've been doing several of these. I hope you can hear me. So when you go to do this, your first one is going to take a while. Don't stress out about it. Just keep going. Okay. And so now you can see we have a really nice shiny image. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with this big flower. I'm going to stamp Lovely Lipstick onto a Petal Pink. Same technique. I'm going to stamp on the Versamark, and I'm just going to actually pick the Versamark and just put it all over my flower first. Okay, and then I'm going to put it into the ink pad. Now the reason why this works is because the Versamark is sticking to the pad and then the ink is sticking to the Versamark. So now the ink is going to the paper and the Versamark is going to be on top, and that's what the embossing powder is going to stick to. Okay, same thing. Yeah, and since I have this trad, wow, okay, I wasn't really expecting that, but whatever. Okay, I can see where I have like a little bit more than I want to, so I'm just going to brush that off a little bit. And then it exposed my ink again, so I'm just going to lightly sprinkle just a little bit, and if I mess that up, I know how I can fix it. I have a way to fix it. Okay, it looks good actually. Alright, so this should already be nice and warm. Now you have to be careful if you have not done this before. This is very hot. I mean, like, burn your skin off hot. I mean, I can feel it on my thumb way over here. I'm going to tilt my paper away. These are embossing powder is, from my understanding, basically crushed up plastic. So this has to be hot enough to melt plastic. And it does get very, very hot. So I'm not laying it down on my mat. I don't want to mess my mat up. I don't know if it would actually mess it up. Okay, I can go ahead and put these away. I'm finished with the embossing and stamping for now. I will stamp one more thing on the inside of the card. So I'm just arranging my stamp pads. I'll clean my stamps up in just a few minutes. Okay, let's get everything we're gonna cut. Okay, let me put this away so I don't lose it. So this wasn't clear. This was clear embossing powder. We have clear, white. We're gonna have silver and gold in the new catalog. Clear, white, silver, and gold, and those are the only embossing powders we're gonna have. Black went away because you can stamp in black and then put clear over top of it, so you don't really need black anymore. Okay, now let me show you the trick. So I'm gonna do a couple of these at the same time to save time. I'm just gonna keep that as a scrap. I'll probably keep that as, I'll throw it away. Okay, this is a scrap to keep. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the little flower. Actually, I can go ahead and do all of 3 of these at the same time. I'm just cutting them. You don't have to cut them. I'm cutting them so they all kind of fit on the mat together. Okay, and I will use a lot of this for scraps. I don't throw a lot of my stuff away. I can get a lot out of it. I mean, like all the way down into Christmas when you're making snowmen and you need mittens, you can use tiny pieces for that. All right, let me get my big shot out. So I'm going to use washi tape to help me hold down the dies because this magnet platform has little magnets. The new one is going to be a whole sheet of magnet material, but this one has just little magnets everywhere, and so the dies tend to want to move around. And just for the sake of time, I don't want to try to find like the perfect position for these. I just want to place, because it already is a little tiny bit time consuming until you get used to it. I'm just going to place and then tape down. All right, now the trick. What I did is I put a little black dot. I just know that for me, I chose this petal right here that has this little mark to be the one that goes near this black dot. So I know when I lay it down like this, that is the perfect placement. You just choose which petal stands out to you, put some kind of marking there that helps you recognize it, and go with it. This one I also put a mark, but it's not really necessary. See how you have a dent in this flower right here? That's the only petal that has like a little dent. Well, you can tell which petal on the frame, on the die, the framelit die, is the one that has the dent. And you can just go ahead and put that down. And it's wanting to kind of bend for some reason. I think it's my paper. I think the heat from the heat tool bent my paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull a couple pieces of washi tape off of the roll and use it to help lay it down so that I don't have to stress about it moving around without my knowledge and doing its own thing. All right, and we can go ahead and run these 3 through. Super easy when you mark them. Now the markings will come off because look, that sticks on there because mine are very well used. So it will wear off eventually, but you can just pull this. This is washi tape, so you know it doesn't really damage the paper. I mean, it did pull there. That's weird. That's the first time that's happened, of course, because the camera's on. All right, see, perfectly cut out flower. If I can pick it up and hold it. Beautiful. And I will keep this washi tape for next time. All right, and then we have our little flower perfectly cut out and easy to figure out how to cut. And then our leaf. And I already did, like I said, I already did 5 leaves. I already did, I think, 4 flowers. And I just wanted to do the big flower with you. And so I'm going to keep that too. I think this other washi tape had paper. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to keep it. Alright, so that's all we're going to do with the big shot today. So let's go ahead and start placing our items on the card. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the cutting tool. And I'm not going to cut anything. I have my paper at 5 1/4 by 8. And I'm going to put a mark at the 4-inch mark. And at the end of when I'm finished with this, I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. But right now, I just took my pencil and I just stuck the lead way out. And I'm just going to go ahead and just draw a pencil mark. And it doesn't matter because we're going to, wait, needs more. Okay, we're going to cover the pencil mark up with flowers, so it won't even show. Okay. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're just placing right down the middle, however you want your flowers. So here's some leaves, some little flowers, and I'm not gluing anything down just yet. I will do that in just a second and show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to put a little flower up here. I'm going to put one maybe here. I might actually have done more flowers than I needed. I think I just did 5 for the last one. Yeah, I think that's all I did. And I like it that way. And so now I'm just going to kind of stick some leaves through here. And just, sorry, I'm just so quiet. Just thinking about how I want these all placed. Symmetry is good. You don't have to do these symmetrically. Because since you're gonna cut it, you're only gonna see one side anyway. Okay, I like that. I don't think I need this extra flower. It might be a good idea. I might go ahead and use that for one of the inside cards. Okay, and I don't know that I want that one up there. I think I want it kind of pointing down, maybe. Yeah, I think so. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull these aside how I want them and where I want them. Okay, and then I'm going to just glue the center of the large flower where I had him. Right there. Hold it for just a second, and then I'm going to start gluing the other ones down. I love liquid glue because you see how I think I had it too high, so I was able to adjust it. And I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing the other ones down too, right where I want them. Just hold them for a few seconds, and I'm just going to pull these guys down a little bit. Okay, and then this one's going to get tucked a little. Where's that one that was wonky? Okay, this one is the one that had the wonky, so he's going to get tucked up under this one for sure. I just need to make sure I do those petals have too much space. Okay, so I might just, let me just see what I want to do. Yeah. No, excuse me, goodness. I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. Just like that. Don't worry about it going over the edge. You're going to cut it. Anything that goes over the edge, you're going to cut off. And trust me, it's going to look fine. Just believe. I know this doesn't look like it's going to be something. It really is, though. Okay, and now I'm going to start gluing the leaves. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive, a little bit of this liquid glue, and just kind of pull back where I didn't glue before. And I think I want to go all the way to the edge, but I want to come down. Okay, then this guy was going the other direction on this side. Okay, And then he was right, like tucked into here. And then this one was tucked in down here. I think he was pointing more upwards a little bit. I kind of wish I had gotten a little bit into here with that leaf. Maybe I can still get that up. I don't know. No, it's okay. We'll just turn it that way. It'll be fine. Okay, it'll still be pretty. Trust me. You would not think. Oh gosh, okay. Sorry, my arm keeps getting in the way. And if it's not exactly how you originally had it, just close enough is fine. I mean, you could just as easily have had it a different, you know, facing a different direction. I feel like I want to pull, well, I can't really. Okay, that's fine. And I think because I pulled and tugged on this, I may stick a glue dot up under there. So let me go ahead and do that, because since I warped the paper a little bit with all my tugging. Okay, I'm just gonna use my take your pick tool and just grab a glue dot and just stick it up under there. I may do that for a couple of more. Once you cut, you may have, on my last one, I had a flower where like most of the glue was on the one sheet and not the other. And so I did have to go through. All right, now I used my guillotine cutter on the last one. I think I want to go ahead and try, I hope this works. I want to go ahead and try this. Okay. All right, so like I said, I'm going to cut it in half, and I know that this is 8 inches across. I'm going to cut, let's go ahead and trim, hold on. Let's go ahead and turn it over and trim what's hanging over gently. Just be patient with this project. Just slow down and breathe and just chill out. It will all work out. If you're not careful, your scissors might stick on some of the glue. There's several layers of paper. I'm a little nervous about cutting it on this paper trimmer. So, oh my gosh, so I'm telling you to chill out, and I'm about to lose it over these little bits of paper. It's because of the embossing powder, and the humidity in Florida is just not nice. Okay, now 4 inches, and I'm going to start in the middle and go up, and then I'm going to start in the middle and come down. Yay, that worked perfectly. Yes, look at that. See, it doesn't. That just looks, it looks terrible. It looks beautiful. It's such a difference. Sorry, terrible. Not really terrible, but it's like, eh. But then when you pull them apart, they take on a life of their own. It's just amazing. I love this technique. I cannot remember the name. I did see somebody, they're from a different company, but I saw a couple of videos earlier where they did some really beautiful cards using this technique. Just amazing. But like I said, Becca did hers with the new sunflower seeds, and I was gonna put buying them off until like July. I had some other ones that I really wanted to buy, but she sold me on it for sure. Okay, so that one, most of the adhesive was in the center of this flower, and so I knew that I was going to need some adhesive on this one, and I'm thinking maybe I think that one will be okay. This little one down here, I think most of the adhesive was over here, but I think it's okay, and the rest I think are pretty. Actually, this one probably might need some, so let's just go ahead. I mean, it doesn't hurt to put a glue dot in there. Better safe than sorry, and just do it. Most of the adhesive is on this one, and I kind of torqued this one around a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to just stamp a little with the Mossy Meadow ink. We're just going to decide. So on these other cards, they looked like this, but actually when I made them like this. In my mind, that's what I did. And then when I went to take pictures, I was like, oh yeah, they do fit together. Duh. Okay, so you just have to decide, like, what do you want to put and where. I kind of like this cherished friend to go maybe right there. And I like this just because to just go right there. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to also talk to you about, I saw another demonstrator, Rachel from Minnesota, I believe. And she said always take your sentiments and put them a little cockeyed on your stamping blocks, because then you're not depending on the blocks to line things up straight and then have a crooked stamped image. You're actually focusing in on the image and the lining of the paper, because you know the block is crooked, so you're not paying attention to that as much, and it really does work. Let's see if it works on video, because you know how it goes. This is a freshly re-inked Mossy Meadow. I'm hoping it's not too juicy. I want to stamp off on scrap paper. Give me just a second. Let me find a good piece of scrap paper, because like I said, it's freshly inked. Yes, it's fine. It makes me a little nervous. Sometimes I get them too juicy. Okay, so I'm gonna do Just Because right over here. Oh, yay. And I'm gonna do Cherished Friend on this side, and I'm gonna do it just maybe a little. I don't know. I think I did too much ink. No, it's fine. It just looks like a lot. It's crazy. Okay, whatever. Okay, do right there. Maybe a little bit too much there, but I think it'll be okay. I'm not stressing out about it. All right, I'll clean that later. They're mostly straight. My images are much straighter since I started doing that, using that technique. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do now is adhere and then just bling up a little bit. So we have Mossy Meadow. These are cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then I scored at 5 1/2 on each one. So we'll have stand-up cards. Okay. And I'm just going to use liquid glue to adhere everything down. I want to go ahead and stamp. Hang on. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow to stamp the leaf onto the inside of these, and that way they can dry while I'm gluing the other part. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this one. And then we'll do this one. Okay, perfect. I love this set. I was so happy that it's being carried over into the new catalog. I was really nervous about that, because sometimes, you know, sometimes they carry a lot of stuff over and sometimes they carry almost nothing. And it's, you know, you fall in love with this set and you know you want to do more with it, but then you know new stuff is going to come out and you're just like, gosh, I can't keep up, especially if you're a demonstrator. It's hard to keep up with everything. You don't get to use everything out of a set before you have new sets that you need to get and you want to interest customers in. It's kind of frustrating sometimes for newbies like me. The veteran demonstrators are just really going with the flow, but I'm not there yet. Okay, so most of the stuff that I have and love is carrying over and things that I wanted to continue playing with and exploring with. So I love that. So I'm still able to demonstrate new things to new stampers without having to do too much new myself. I get to start perfecting my art. I love it. Okay, I'm going to bling a little bit. And all I did was I put a little bling, and this is our old. We have a new pack. I'm trying to use up all my old stuff. I just put one on each of the eyes. So on this one, Cherished Friend has an eye, and on this one, actually there's no eye, it's a J. Sorry. Okay, and then I did a larger one in, the upper corner of each one. And then another small one kind of up here, and then a medium-sized one. Just like a little triangle. Small one. Some of these, the adhesive's not as good as it used to be. That's why I'm trying to use them up. But if it doesn't have really good adhesive, just pull the liquid glue back out again. Perfect. Okay, I love it. I love how these turn out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just adhere the inside. I'm just going to go around the inside. That way when you're writing, you don't have a loopy stream of glue in the middle. Okay. These are so pretty. I'm so excited. I love it when you find a good design and a really cool technique, and it really does come together when you try it. It's a lot of fun to do things that work out well and turn out pretty, if I do say so myself. Okay. Oh, and it's okay. We're getting up there on time. It's going to take me a while to upload this. Okay, there we go. Oh no, I did it a little cockeyed, so my glue is going to be a little bit everywhere. Okie dokie. So that's okay because I have a glue eraser. Not stressing about it. There we go. Okay, which reminds me, I did get a little bit of paper on that one. Okay. Speaking of erasers, so I had a smear of ink on one of these, and honestly I can't even tell you which one it is anymore. I think it's this one maybe, and I used this eraser and it really got it out. There was a black mark and some mossy meadow marks, and I got them all out. You can't even tell. So definitely worth an investment. Okay, all right, so there are my cards. So cool. Split, I can't remember what it's called. It's split stamping or split top. I don't even know. I'll look it up and I'll post it in the blog. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I had a really great time. Don't forget to visit me on my blog, stampinonthebrightside.blogspot.com. Come shop with me at carrieannkinky.stampinup.net, and I'm on Facebook, fb.me/stampinonthebrightside, and then my YouTube channel, which hopefully is where you're seeing this. And thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.